Streaming.
Well, we got nothing to talk about today, guys. So hopefully we can pull some things out. And
all right, I'm out.
Yeah,
Steve has a demo of eating cereal for us.
it's going to be delicious, magically delicious. I heard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Tricks are for kids.
Spoilers. Whoa, double
Spoilers.
spoilers.
We're giving away all the fun stuff today. We do. So we might. Nothing happened this weekend. That was really the thing. And
Yeah.
But there was some attacks, I guess, that did happen. Just a couple.
No.
Yeah.
Are we in live chat? That's where we're at. All right.
Wherever
Cast
you are,
live
that's
chat
where we are.
or
We're in
Hello, live
hashtag
chat.
hot takes.
Hot
be on
takes
the YouTube.
on the Yub Tub. That's what. That's
Well, are
what-
we going to get
The Yub Tub.
demonetized for talking about this?
No,
We're
we're
talking
not
about what?
monetized.
Yeah.
For talking about
We
the
suck
news.
at capitalism, remember?
Yeah. In fact, I heard that they're going to pay us to shut up.
Ralph, what happened to your color? I feel like you're back in like sepia tone. Like, can you go get like some cowboy
Sepia?
boots and like a big cowboy hat and be like, "Howdy, partner, welcome to the VHS special, talking about the news."
Hey, I'm just getting ready. All right, you never know. It's getting wild out
This
here.
man is
Looks
wanted
a little
dead or
low
alive.
resolution too here. What's going on?
Oh my
Check your video.
goodness! One of Ralph's doors is open.
We must close it.
It got out. Whatever was in there got out. Look around.
Oh, we're done. We're done.
Cut the feed.
Oh, jeez. Cut the.
Do you have
feed.
Star Trek doors? Like, do they open and close automatically?
Yes.
They're-
Yes. It's a button under my desk. Hold on. I'm just kidding.
But seriously, Ralph, check your video settings.
What? They're.
It looks.
they look
It doesn't look
1080p for
HD.
me.
You look
It doesn't
sick.
look that way.
Ralph looks like he's coming to us from a bunker with
I
only
wish.
yellow lights.
You never know. You need that.
He's got a little slit in the window. He can just
Oh, let me
it's
try
just
something.
shining on his face.
Ralph's like, "Let me try something." And he just turns off his video.
All right. I just seen if it made it better. See, I knew this is why I needed a faster internet connection.
Pre-show
because of this.
technical
It's definitely your internet
fixing it.
for
Yeah.
sure. It's always
You
that.
should get faster internet, Ralph.
Yeah, that's right. Is it still weirdly not full resolution?
Let's take a look.
It looks full
Yeah,
resolution on my side. Maybe Restream's just
Try
having some
closing the
fun.
door. See if that fixes it.
Oh, that's right.
You get some feedback from
You're
that
letting
door.
the Wi-Fi's out.
I'm probably letting the Wi-Fi's out. Yeah.
I don't know. It just does not look like HD on my end.
Yeah, it's also
from
like
you.
weird because I can't see the top of your head. I just see like headphones floating over like your eyes.
You can't see the top of my head.
No.
It must be like cutting it then.
It could be the camouflage potentially.
Steve
it's-
was ready.
I was
Yeah,
ready.
I think it's the camouflage.
Everybody else's video looks great. I'm just saying.
How
Except
dare you?
for mine.
Ralph
dare
Ralph
you.
puts all this money into his equipment and it never turns
Oh
out
my
right.
God.
Ralph is always the one with the problem.
I call Ralph Icarus because he's always living on the bleeding edge, literally
And then
bleeding.
I'm pretty much just getting burnt by the sun constantly.
Ralph's like, "What, guys? What could it be? My teleprompter, my HD camera that I got from a news agency that used it for 20 years,
I mean,
or
was
is it
going-
the fact that my internet is right now being used for low orbit and high orbit ion cannons?"
It's a lot of canyons.
Wizpo says you need to download more memory.
Ah, the old download more memory technique. I love
Mhm.
that.
No, Ralph does not need more memory, dude.
See, that's the problem. I've been downloading constantly, and it's
He's using up all of his bandwidth downloading memory.
yeah. I don't know. It does look like I'm getting a bad connection to you guys. I don't know why.
It's you.
It's me. Hold on, I'm gonna reboot twice.
It must be your let's see. It's your proxy in the country you're going through.
It's first of all, you're not supposed to tell everyone.
Ralph's like, I
So-
use the distributed internet, so I
Yeah.
technically have no idea where I'm.
He's like, I don't know where
originating."
my Tor exit node is.
Yeah, really. Tor, dude, no. Ralph left Tor behind years ago. It's not cutting edge enough. He's probably like somehow using Headscale to like reroute his whole internet connection to Ukraine and then back to America and then back to Ukraine somehow.
And then back over Starlink because why not?
Over. Ralph, are you sure you're not VPN'd into Elon's HQ again?
All right, I'm gonna rejoin real quick, see if this fixes it, and then if not, then someone else.
Dude,
might have to
you.
leave.
I think
If not, we'll just run with it.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, D for Jesse posted your picture. It looks hilarious.
For those on YouTube, the picture is in Discord.
Yes.
It looks fine. No, he's right. It
Yeah,
does look
it
fine. I mean, Ralph looks like he's
fine.
been hitting the vape pen a little bit too hard, but it was never heard from again.
Hey,
I guess I
dude.
should put the Discord link in YouTube just in case.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's where we're talking. We're talking about the news in Discord.
Oh, how about that? That probably works better.
Yeah, it could be crypto mining. He has a point.
I
Yeah.
turned mine off.
Yeah, I turn all the crypto mining off, and takes all the power away, and the lights flicker kind of too often.
Is your GPU set to your sound card? Maybe.
Yeah, that's it. Is it not better?
It's honestly, dude, I'm not gonna lie, it's been fine for me the whole time, but I've just been going along with it.
Great.
Yeah, it's still a little weird, but let's go with it.
Okay, sorry. I don't know
It's
what
all
I
right.
did. I
It's
just
all right.
loaded the.
I
mean,
think
it
it's
looks
because the
great.
door's open.
It looked great the last time I saw you. So I don't know what happened.
I don't know. I think it's Restream. I'm gonna blame it all on Restream because all my gear is perfect.
Yeah, dude. Always
You're
blame
not on,
the as a
on
service.
Firefox, are you? Because we talked about this.
No, I'm not using Firefox.
Okay.
We had the discussion.
Are you in like excitement mode on your camera or something?
Is it excitement mode?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know how you have those
No.
modes?
No, I'm in
It's
regular
in
mode.
Old West mode.
It's in like
Oh.
it's definitely
Oh.
an Old West mode.
I know what it is now.
Oh.
Jeez. I just thought about this. This is that for the green screen stuff. That's what's going on
Yeah.
for the color.
Are you using
that's what
different
you're talking
lights?
Are you
Yeah.
using a green
The
screen
color,
that
yeah, it's the white
simulates
balance.
your exact
Yeah.
office?
Yes, I'm using a green screen. That's actually not even my real door. The whole time it's been a green screen. That's how good it is.
Wow.
So it's not
that
even a
is
real
amazing.
open door. This is a fake open door.
This is all fake, right?
Ralph,
This has
one
been a
day
green
we should trade offices virtually. We'll both green screen. We'll green screen. I'll take a picture of my background. You take a picture
Oh
of your
my,
background.
that'd be fun.
Oh my!
All right, let's go with it. Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Whoa! It's fixed. Real fake doors coming in hot. I like. Yeah, this is.
Which one's he in? Is
I'm
he
on
in
the
one?
edge of my
no,
seat.
There he is.
You're on the edge of your seat. All right, we're good.
Cool. We're gonna go.
Let's talk
Hit the
about
video.
the news.
Let's
We're gonna
talk
do it.
about it.
See how
Let's
it
do it.
goes. All right. 3, 2.
Welcome to Black Hills Information Security, talking about the news. I'm your host today, Ralph May, and I think John's out training cyber forces right now, so we are going to talk about the news. We actually have an all-star cast and not very many stories to talk about today because nothing happened this weekend. Luckily, it was very calm, but with that said, we have Ryan, who's trying to make me look good, but probably says I look bad.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
We got Steve.
Yo, enhance that video, Ralph. Enhance.
Enhance. We got Ben. He has made it today. Blessed us with his presence. And we also have Corey, who just makes fun of me, which is actually his part-time job. His day job is pretending to be a hacker. Anyways.
No further
What's up,
questions.
guys?
Heckler by night.
Day heckler by night. So yeah, what's going on, guys? Any magics happened since we last talked?
Quiet weekend, you know.
Yeah. I think we're gonna all get our bingo cards out, and
Yep.
I have a
Somebody-
counter. If we hit 100 mentions of Ukraine, I'm going to buy everyone a Bitcoin.
Really. All right, Ukraine.
Yeah, but it's
Ukraine.
just an
That's low.
off-brand. It's an off-brand Bitcoin that I found. It may not. It's actually called Bytecoin. I'm not sure.
Oh, Oh,
That's a low bar. That's all I have to say. 100.
Oh man, we are great at puns and
Now, does
funny
that
jokes.
only verbal, or does it count chat mentions of Ukraine?
It's only mentioned by a host, so it has to be
okay.
on the air. You can't just spam 100 messages that say Ukraine.
Okay.
Well,
Also, you
that's a
can't
little
like
more
brute
legit.
force it and just start saying Ukraine for like 5 minutes.
So
It's also-
I
We've
have
already
to
said
no,
it like
sorry.
6 times.
Yeah,
so
dude,
off
we're
to
getting
good
up
start.
there.
I know the budget I'm working with here. It's fine.
All right. So with that in mind, which Ukraine story do you guys want to talk about first?
Hey, how about I don't know. I don't know if this is even on there, but it's kind of just like a general thing. We see a lot of this. Hey, it's time to go hack back and take up arms and kind of put everything into our own. Let's just go hack the planet, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And this is probably not the right thing to do. Just still obey the law.
Vigilante
And,
hacking.
Yeah, don't be
Yeah,
vigilante hacking out there.
I
This
just
is
like
not
to
a
remind,
call
yeah,
to the world.
just because a country is doing bad things doesn't mean hacking them is legal.
True.
So,
Yes.
That's a good
So,
PSA.
yeah, that's
for
my
the day.
PSA for the day. Careful what you're doing out there.
also, you may be making people angry that may be state funded. Potentially. And as we've learned, it's like making your postman angry.
Yes.
Like he's there every day. Like you might be like, he will eventually win out. If his goal is to lose your mail, you will lose.
Yeah, and we're probably getting to the situation where an IP leak, might turn into a missile hitting your house. So let's not be out there hacking on the front lines. Let's be cognizant of our surroundings, right? But we do have a lot of news around this as well.
Are we doing Ukraine first or Ukraine second? Because are some other hacks.
Maybe third. You
There's
never know.
are some other hacks as we know. There's an Nvidia potential hack. There's a Toyota potential
Well,
hack.
let's just shuffle them up, shall we?
All right.
How about
So-
we go from the vigilante hacks to the Biden's got options for attacks against Russia?
What are those options?
I don't know. That's the question.
Yeah. So this article looks more to me like.
Oh, I guess it's a video.
Oh no.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Is there a paywall? Hopefully not.
Wow, he's
No, this
been
is
presented. President Joe Biden has been presented with a menu of options, which apparently did not include having every U.S. citizen hack Russia at once.
Oh, you haven't been invited to that Telegram chat, have you?
I feel
I
like
was in one on IRC. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the backup channel.
that was the Russian one, by the way. So just a heads up, you may be targeting your own IP. But yeah, this is kind of an interesting thing for them to flex about, right? They're basically saying like, "Hey Biden, publicly though, you can hack Ukraine or you can hack Russia. Whatever you want to do, man. You can hack anything. Like, why do they have to? Why is this newsworthy? It's like, isn't this just the average
do
Monday?
everything from slow the trains to have them fall off the tracks. One person briefed on the matter said, "Okay."
So are the tracks like computers? I'm really confused.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
I'm assuming that's a metaphor, but we have talked about railway hacks.
I didn't know Russia's rail system was that advanced that it's all computer controlled.
Jeez, I would hope they're all somewhat that way these days, but kind of do and kind of don't, right? Because then you're susceptible to these hacks. But
yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a little surprised this is newsworthy. That like, is it? I mean, we're talking about real nukes later in the show, so it's like, we can hack you, yo. It's like, okay, cool. We're about to
is this part of the
nuke you?
strategy though that seems like the administration has been following to release information, be open about what they know, in order to kind of hopefully deter people from doing things. So maybe this is kind of a, hey, we have options. Don't think that we can't come at you with cyber offensives stuff,
Yeah, you're
cyber
right.
weapons and things. But just kind of a general PSA of, hey, we're here and we have options on the table.
It's
to hopefully
political
deter, but-
posturing, right?
Sure,
That's why
for
it was
sure.
public. It's publicized to show that, hey, we're not the only ones doing cyber attacks. You can too. So
Well, there's what was the other attack that they just
a
did?
digital 9/11. Oh my god! What would that even be? You flew a packet into a computer? Like I don't even like.
It's mostly just ransomware. It's ransomwaring everything.
Is it-
Zero cool crash 1207 systems.
Dude, okay, honestly, wasn't not Petya basically digital? Like I don't know. Whatever. It's like I don't know, dude.
So what I won't be surprised to see some more of is more ransomware. It seems like that is Russia's favorite, go-to weapon to throw around, right? Which
the last show of force was what? Stuxnet? What?
Well, and even then, think about it: is the nation state responsible going to come out and say, "Haha, we got you"? No, they're not. They're going to try to stay under the radar.
They're going to false flag it to another country.
Well, that's another case, right? But I mean, you're not going to just go out there and say, "Hey, we Stuxneted you, and what are you going to do about it?" Right? And even then, like nobody came out and said it. We just kind of all assumed and knew who it was, basically.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting.
I don't think we'll see that here either.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see the U.S. be like, "Hey, everyone playing the attribution game, here's our IOCs. Follow along on the U.S. Gov threat map, right? Like, I don't know.
If you buy a bingo card, you might win."
Yeah, it could be. That's actually an interesting point. It could be the first time the U.S. ever actually openly owns up to a cyber attack just for the purpose of political posturing. Like maybe that's why they do it. They're like, "Oh yeah, we actually did hack you this time."
I will say one thing though, I don't think the attacks are going to stop, but as soon as the rockets, I feel like they're focusing on the rockets right now though, right? Like not as much about that.
Yeah.
But, obviously there's still room for any kind of disruption digitally that can affect them. So
I feel like we just want to be included.
Yeah.
Germany's massively increasing its defense budget. Some people are sending, like Sweden's sending rations and stuff. We're like, best we can do is a DDoS, I guess. Like,
which, by the way, that Sweden joke is now out, right? Excuse me, not Sweden, Switzerland. Right? But Switzerland is also not condoning the activity. Contributing and not condoning the activity
for the first time.
Yeah, they're not neutral. So there you go.
Years. Yeah.
There you go. I'm not.
So what do? Do they send Toblerone?
Yes.
Or like one of the big Toblerones, like like the 3-foot ones.
Yeah. That's actually what they use to hold javelins now. Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, we could just turn off the internet of Russia, right?
So that's an interesting
which leads us into the next story. Like,
right? Yeah, let's talk about that.
How
is that possible?
If everybody's trying to attack them, can they just shut everything off? Can they kind of geofence themselves, which I've seen the term floating around a lot, where they're restricting their IPs based on geolocations and things like that.
I mean, this sounds like an uprising. You're going to shut off TikTok?
Yeah, really. You want your citizens to actually rebel? Take away the cat memes.
I know, right? I know.
Did someone pay for this article? Because I can't actually read it.
I paid twice.
It's on screen for you. Here you go.
Yeah, it's JavaScript. It was slowing you down.
Keep scroll a little.
Oh
no, you can't. You didn't pay. You can't read
it.
Look at
you
that.
didn't pay.
You can get
look at
membership
that.
now.
I guess it
just
is
run
blocked.
This payload. I mean, pay 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just make up this article from scratch. I can't read it.
Yeah. So basically, it's somebody saying one of the options to punish Russia is that we could just shut off the internet for Russia, right? So, how feasible is that to just shut off countries? I mean, we've seen like North Korea have, I think, a single point of entry or something like that. I know we've seen some BGP hacks that have taken them offline completely. But can you just take off Russia? I would assume from all the other countries that they're bordered with, they have internet infrastructure coming in. So it would be more than just hey, let's just go flip this one switch, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially with like cellular and Starlink. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to talk about that Starlink Ukraine thing later, but It is, yeah. It would be very difficult to actually do that, right? Like if I just go to the border and turn on my cell phone, like I don't know, like
Sure. Yeah, and I've seen in here also they're trying to maybe do some kind of independent internet, but if
yeah,
that's
RuNet or whatever.
what is that's an intranet, right?
Yeah.
That's not really an internet. That's not the web. That's their own network. So what good does that really do
It's like the
you?
gulag of internet.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were gonna name their internet anything, that might be it.
Shouldn't it be GooNet instead of RuNet?
GooNet. Oh, interesting.
So yeah, I mean, it basically it isn't as easy as it sounds, especially with like satellite, cellular,
Yeah.
even with BGP. Like, if, especially if the U.S. government's going to do it, it's like, okay, you go get me a list of every Russian BGP lease. Okay, that's going to take 2 years, so we'll get on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be a way to get that communication out, right? Even if you shut down the big pipes. So,
yeah. But it is, I'm sure it's something they're working on, but ultimately it's one of those things where the whole concept of like a sovereign internet is pretty silly. It's like, isn't the whole point of the internet to get to other people's computers, not just like your neighbor? I don't know, but they already have a firewall. They already, if you Google Putin, clown or something, you probably won't get the same results here as you did in Russia. Just a guess.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so, speaking of infrastructure, what about the Conti ransomware gang? So they came out the other day and publicly kind of stated that they were pro-Russian backed group, right? So we saw that, and then shortly
Surprise.
surprise, right?
Is it Fancy Bear or Fuzzy?
Fuzzy.
So shortly
Bear.
thereafter, a leak came out of their internal chats and everything like that, including their private Bitcoin addresses and stuff like that. So it turns out that somebody within the group is more pro-Ukrainian and just dumped all their stuff. So now there's this internal strife going on with the Conti ransomware group, and hopefully that may be the end of that. But
yeah,
we'll see.
well, at least they use JSON for their logs. I mean, that's solid, pretty good.
Well, I think that's because they're using Rocket Chat. It looked like Rocket Chat to me.
Oh,
Seriously.
classic.
And one of the screenshots I saw was
It's self-hosted, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's interesting that the whole, even I don't know, it's like you said, the attribution thing is so difficult. Like, could this just be posturing? Is this real? It's hard to tell. I guess someone should wade through the chats and see, like, are they actually pro-Russian or pro-Ukraine, or are they just total chaotic? We target whoever.
We're gonna have to take a vote.
Right,
take a vote, count them.
There's definitely a lot of like retconning or whatever you want to call it, where it's like, oh, actually, all that stuff we did, it was for Russia. It had nothing to do with making money. It's political. Like, you just right. Really, they're probably just screwing around and trying to make a little cash, and then they're like, no, all this was actually politically motivated. So it's cool now because we were targeting Russia and everyone hates Russia now. So it's all fine.
Yeah.
So do we know if Conti is responsible for the new wiper going around the Ukraine then? Since we're on that topic, there is a register post here. Hundreds of computers in Ukraine hit with wiper malware as the conflict continues. So apparently it's even an MBR wiper. So it just nukes the PC.
That was the first like cyber related news from all of the Ukraine stuff I feel like I saw last week, and I feel like it kind of got lost.
Hasn't this happened like 100 times before? The whole kill disk thing.
Yeah. What was the delivery mechanism here?
Well, that's the thing. I think some of it's like they had footholds on these systems already.
Yeah.
So it's not even about getting initial foothold. It's about post exploitation.
No, the whole kill disk thing has been happening for years. This is like classic Russian sandworm / fancy bear / F whatever that other group is. Like, yeah, they probably just were like, well, we already have these footholds and we're about to lose internet, so you guys want to just send it?
Let's just go ahead and do it and see what happens.
Bitcoin address and whatever, and just said, hey, wipe all the data instead of ransomware, right?
Yeah. I'm just sick of reading this guy's emails,
Yeah, they're like, we can't, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are many Ukrainian companies that, right, like think about how any nation state would, I'm sure the US does this too. You have you have established points of presence. You're not just like, okay, we're going to hack a country. Okay, let's start fresh, throw away everything you have. No, you want to have assets. Like that's even how real spy networks work, is you have like these assets that are just there ready to do whatever. And then, if you're about to lose internet and actually shooting missiles at people, you might as well just wipe all the disks. You might get discovered, but it might help your cause. So that's my guess.
Yeah.
I think when they investigated like a lot of the hacks that like the Ukrainian power grid hack from 2019 or whatever, those they like pulled logs for like 120 days or whatever, and they were already there before that. So it's like, a lot of the times they're like, oh, well, they were just here, like assumed breach. Like we're already here. But
yeah, and we see even in cases, some of those are paid for access, right? One group will compromise a set of systems or whatever, and then they'll actually go sell that access. So I'm wondering if maybe some of that was like sold on the dark web or something. So.
Yeah, we should start asking our clients if we can buy access to their network.
Yeah, right. Hey, we just looked it up. We're in there already. So how do you want us to proceed?
Don't worry about the ethical and legal ramifications of
Right.
that, but how amazing would that be if you're like, BHIS simulated a nation state actor and purchased access to your network.
I can just imagine there being like an eBay of buying access, and like,
Rube.
Ukraine computers are just sold out right now.
Ukraine computers sold out. We're working as hard as we can to get more in stock.
Exactly.
But then Russian computers are sold out too, because because Switzerland is like, oh, dude, we have we want to get into the game.
Yeah, so this the only one making money here and really ruining the world is this fictitious store. But anyways,
the fictitious initial access broker that we made up, which probably exists, but we're totally speculating about.
Yes, exactly. Oh man. What else happened?
Let's flip. What, Nvidia got hacked?
Oh yes, Nvidia got nailed. We don't really know the details. But they were attacked.
That doesn't matter. That will never stop us.
No, that'll never stop us from hypothesizing the entire thing.
Conject and
yes, Nvidia, they exploded 1 million GPUs via the attack. No, it doesn't say that.
No. First, my car was on fire on that boat. Now my GPU has been hacked somehow.
I know. The second Porsche you've ordered, isn't it?
I keep ordering them from Alphabet, and they're just not showing up.
No, so they did get attacked. It's fuzzy on details, but one thing that did come out, and it wasn't in the article that we posted here, which I thought was super, super interesting, is that the attackers were complaining about the fact that they got hacked back, right? And what the article was saying is that the attackers ended up divulging that they didn't get really So the hype was they got ransomware back. But what they were saying in the article is that the attackers had used a compromised device that had MDM on it, and they still had access to the device. NVIDIA caught onto the fly. They knew where the device was that was accessing it, and they encrypted the computer that they had used to access the network that had downloaded the data, so on and so forth, right? Kind of the whole point of MDM. But then the attackers were like, we got a backup, though. So anyway.
So what you're saying is that basically NVIDIA had like incident response that figured out which computer was compromised.
That's what we're hypothesizing.
Nuked it. Right.
Yeah. Let's be real. NVIDIA hasn't come out and said that, hey, we hacked them back, right? This is just one screenshot from VX Underground shows that. It would be, they hacked us back. So
I will say, like, hacking someone back versus incident response, encrypting a device that you know is compromised. I don't know if those count in this state. That's two very different things. Like, hacking back to me would be like targeting their actual computers owned by the malware actors, not computers owned by NVIDIA.
We don't know this, and we don't know how they compromised the device, like whether they just installed the MDM software and then like registered it, or if they actually compromised a physical device. I mean, because I've done that kind of attack, not taking a physical laptop, but like adding the MDM and then getting it to register.
Right.
Who knows how far that was and like what level, but either way, that MDM was able, according to this article, or according more specifically to the attackers, it was able to encrypt their device. But they have a backup, so it's okay. And I guess the plans, supposedly, they have the plans for the new GPUs that are going to play Crisis. It's a fact, right?
Are you telling me that it's bad when bad people listen to us and do backups and things? Like, that's not.
Yeah.
That should not be legal. So this is under investigation. We don't know much about it or, exactly what happened, but stay tuned. Also, GPU prices.
Welcome, Piranha Mama.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on?
Just catching up, trying to figure out the time zone that I'm in. So
Yeah.
I keep getting here late.
Oh, it's all good.
No worries.
All
We
good.
have enough news to go around.
Time
Yeah.
doesn't exist here.
Yes. We played the Ukraine bingo card. I don't think Corey's going to all give us one Bitcoin yet, but I'm
We
gonna
haven't
say
hit 100
Ukraine
mentions
a
of
couple more
Ukraine
times. Yeah. I'm going to have an automatic system that calculates at the end of the video so I can
Okay.
make sure that I won. Anyways, but now we were just talking about Nvidia getting attacked. So I don't know if they got ransomware. It sounded like maybe, I don't know. So they said they got a lot of access according to this article. But again, Nvidia is hush-hush about the scenario, the whole incident, for a magnitude of reasons. One, they're just worried that I might be worried about the Nvidia GPUs. So
Maybe don't update your drivers for a hot second. Or maybe do update your drivers right now. I don't know.
Right
I'm going to
now,
roll them back a little bit.
NVIDIA will hopefully tell you when to not or to update your drivers, I guess.
sleep in fear, and don't listen to us. All right.
Most of my labs have that NVIDIA card, so I would like to know that for sure.
All righty.
All right, back to the U word.
Already
Trying to
discussed
save some.
Swift or not yet?
What's up?
Did you already discuss the Swift?
Oh, yes.
Not
Nope.
directly. No, we have
Nope,
not.
but they're going to be so sad when they have to write iOS apps in Objective-C.
Oh,
That was
the
a really
worst.
bad iOS joke. I'm sorry.
He had to do it.
Different Swift. So
Well, I was
I got
listening
that
to something
reference.
else on the radio, and they were saying that they wouldn't have enough time to get it up and running. And my feeling was that when they decided to take Crimea in 2014, they were testing the waters, and I think they've been working on it for 8 years. I think that I don't think that that they're going to have to take more time. I think that was probably part of the plan.
So for those that might be out of the loop, what we're talking about is Swift, which is not the app language that you write iOS apps in, although it is also called Swift.
True.
Swift is the thing that makes money moving between banks happen. And there is an international sanction discussion ongoing about whether Russia is going to be cut off from that network. I believe that has happened, right? So they're
Yeah,
actually
I
cut
believe
off.
it has happened. Yeah, they're cutting him off.
Right.
That's-
But then, of course, because reasons, they're trying to build and test and use an alternative for Swift. Obviously, this would only apply to countries that
doing
are
business with them, right?
countries that are doing business with
And willing to sign up for their service.
Right. So it's like if I said, all right, Bitcoin's banned, but you can use Dogecoin to send me money. It's like, do I want to do that? I don't know if I want to buy
Yeah.
Dogecoin.
A
I
meme
think that
coin?
they're already, working with Russia. Then, I mean, if you saw the list of countries, which I don't have in front of me, but they're already doing business with Russia, so they probably would be totally fine signing up to.
So
Right.
what's
Yeah.
this new protocol called? It's not Swift, is it?
It's called Putin.
SPFS.
Putin.
Is this called Putin? Because he is swift and strong. But yeah, no, I mean, who knows? Honestly, let's be real. What is really happening is jets with no tail number flying stacks of cash everywhere, right? Like, right? Like it's one of those things where it's like, whack-a-mole. How many different ways can someone think of to expatriate money? I feel like there's a lot. I could think of like 20 off the top of my head. So Swift is just honestly, it's the biggest thing is that it does hit the citizens the most. It hits the people trying. There was a run on the banks, and like the citizens themselves are running out of cash, which is where you get into the whole totalitarian state. They're running out of cash. When do they decide to maybe not put up with this or not deal with that, right? So
I think if history serves me correctly, this may have already happened once in Russia. and that's kind of how they got rid of the last
regime.
leader.
So
Yeah.
the countries that it's showing in this article that is the Belarusian banks, Kyrgyzstan, Armenia, Tajikistan, Cuba, and Kazakhstan are already on board.
So basically, you can send your money to any of the ex-USSR nations or Cuba.
So that they would still have a way to transfer money within their group of people.
Right. But I don't know about you, but you might need more than Cuban cigars, Belarusian pierogies, and some Kazakhstan chocolate. You know, it might be hard to get what you really need to survive.
Yeah, I'm sure it's painful.
This kind of goes to what we were just talking about like the internet and network, just like the protocols that we rely on, from like a world standpoint, right? And how that works. And if you shut off all the internet, like, how would you communicate over this, right?
So someone brought up in chat, and I think this is worth calling out, that they're saying that the SWIFT sanctions, the fact that those countries that Piranha Mama listed still are, they're like a exit point for the Russian money because those countries aren't sanctioned. Potentially, like Cuba isn't. Well, I guess Cuba's like permanently sanctioned, but some of those countries might not be sanctioned. So basically, Belarus, you could someone in Russia could send their money to Belarus and have it exchanged for a U.S. currency because Belarus can get that currency. So it's theoretically possible
from that, and that's
right.
It's damaging regardless. I mean, you can say it's not going to work, but it certainly slows things down and makes it.
Well, and they can just add those countries, right? They can add those countries into the list.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's kind of like, hey, don't side with this global enemy number one. Like,
But this is an opportune time to do phishing campaigns, right? If you were in those areas affected by that, how many I'm sure like Ukrainian phishing campaigns are we going to see come out of this that were Ukrainians were targeted or Russians were targeted for bank transactions and you're out of money, go click on this link to re-enable your account with Dogecoin or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it opens up another spectrum of attacks, right? Just the fact that this geopolitical stuff is happening.
And I mean, like someone said, like that same person said, like the commissions, like it just kind of enables this like cottage industry of basically like international sanction hopping. Like it's like
mixers.
It's hard to get into the U.S., so you can pay someone $10,000 to transport you across the border. Like it's a weird like similar thing where it's like, okay, so you can't get your money out. Give me all your money, and I will get it out for you. Like I'm sure there's a ton of fraud and other things going on. I feel bad for the citizens, but I guess time to bust out the guillotine or your weapon of choice, and so. But yeah, those phishing emails might not land. I wouldn't just go ahead and start emailing Russia if I were you. But from Russia to Russia, can I have all your money?
I'm sure that the same news applies to U.S. agencies and stuff too, right? Time.
So, what is the current status? Does anyone know of the ability for Russians to access the free internet? Because
I don't think they've had that since like 1989, from my knowledge.
Well, what my understanding was, and I'll have to look for a link here, was like 2 weeks ago that they were shutting Tor down because I got a message in Discord in one of the areas that I watch the geopolitical news, saying that they were seeking more people to help keep those avenues open because the government was preventing them from using Tor.
I think right now it's site by site. Like I saw that, like I forget which app it was, but certain apps, I think YouTube might be targeting, like blocking Russian users. It's like, it's basically companies are seeking to comply with the sanctions, right? So I don't think there's any like kind of broad sweeping,
especially when it comes to monetization, right? I think you talked about that earlier, like YouTube's monetization and Facebook. I think they enacted some things.
They're pushing towards it, but I think right now it's probably just, things, anonymity adding things are probably tough to find and tough to get. But
I think it was more from the Russian side preventing citizens from having access, because what I was gathering was that they're lying about this, how this war started to their people, right? So they're basically saying that there are aggressions from the West. And so Russia is just doing what they need to do to protect themselves and to protect their friends in Ukraine, and not being the aggressors in the story that they're telling on their side. And so, in order to make that story fly, they can't let Western news in.
yeah, I think they've been doing that for years, though, right? Like, I don't think they've ever allowed, I don't think they've ever openly allowed things like Tor. Maybe they just started really going hard against it, but this article of Russia started blocking Tors from 20 December,
yeah.
right? So you're right. I mean, it's totally disinformation, etc. But it's one of those things where both sides are playing whack-a-mole, right? Like, how do you stop Russian people from using your social media app? Well, that's tough. How does Russia stop people from using, VPNs, Tor, signal-based internet, whatever, Starlink? It's really tough it's one of those things where the default paths are probably blocked, but there's a lot of ways around.
Sure. Well, the way they control that is with state-run news and state-run media, right? So it's all, one news source.
Which did get hacked by Anonymous, apparently.
Yeah, apparently somebody hacked a news station or some.
We don't know.
Right? We're not sure,
scope,
but somebody made the Ukrainian national anthem or something like that play on every channel.
Straight out of hackers.
I've seen everything. I've seen everything from it was a hack to somebody physically went into a building and
insider threat
and made them said, "Hey, play this." Who knows what they did, but it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Either way. It's straight out of, you booted me out of OTV on hackers.
Perfect. Speaking of what is it? Starlink, right? They sent a bunch of dishes to the Ukraine as well, right?
So yeah, this is the world we live in. This is the crazy world we live in. Someone in Ukraine was like, "Hey Elon, can we have Starlink?" And he was like,
over
sure.
Twitter.
This literally happened over Twitter. Hey Elon, can we have Starlink? Elon, sure. Okay. 15 minutes later, whatever. So they have Starlink now, which is interestingly, all their traffic will be routed through the US, right? Because of how Starlink works.
Yeah, so a couple things. So one, they turned it on, right? Which is, I mean, the satellites are already going over the country because of the way they're LEO, low Earth orbit satellites. They're going over tons of countries, and there's lots and lots of them. But they turned it on. The second piece, they sent them a bunch of terminals, because that's kind of like the other key piece to this. You need the terminal, so they sent them literally like a Connex full of them, so that they can use it. And then, the way that it works is the satellite traffic's going to go up, hit the satellite as it goes by. It actually uses a bunch of them all at one time, and then it'll go back to a terminal site. And I think most of them are in the US.
So the real question is, how many Russians right now are tasked with shooting down Elon's satellites? Using laser beams, there's missiles.
There's like a crap ton.
Yeah,
of
there's
them.
a lot of them, right?
Yeah, the way that it works is that
They
it has
fly
an
in
array.
a little train.
Yeah, it's an array. Like, the antenna is not looking at just one satellite; it's hitting a bunch of them all at the same time. But the ground station, I think, is the other piece, and someone mentioned it in there. Because of the latency, the further the latency, and if the satellite has to talk to another satellite, so on and so forth. So it still needs a ground station that's like somewhat geographically relevant, close, for that to come back down to hit to hit somewhere to go out of. So, anyways.
Is there a timeline in which Elon gets mad because they keep shooting down his satellites and declares war on Russia himself? Can I put that on my bingo card for 2022?
I would say, while it is absolutely possible to shoot down a satellite, a LEO satellite is even harder to shoot down because they're much closer to the Earth, so they're flying by really pretty quick. So.
But in the 80s, they built all kinds of cool arrays and signal. Maybe that's what they're going to use Chernobyl for, right? Maybe they're about to, send a pulse.
A pulse of what? Nuclear radiation that
pulse
somehow
of
knocks
Soviet
down
energy,
satellites.
dude. Don't worry about it. I'm just making things up because it feels like this timeline that we're living in is made up.
It's made up. Yeah. So anyways, they have internet there. Or well, they had internet. Now they have a more reliable, or when I say more reliable, more resistant to cutting.
And this
internet.
all happened on Twitter. I just liked it. No one's picking up a red phone with a landline and saying, hello, can I speak to the diplomat? No, they're just tweeting at each other. Hey, Elon, can I have Starlink? Yes, it's on the way. And then how did it get there?
Yeah,
did
like
Elon
Yes.
How many days after that is there a picture of a truck? When was that?
Right.
February 28th.
Like
When was
2
the
days.
original? When was the original tweet? Like, can we
It was
believe
like
this?
midweek.
Yeah.
2 days.
Today.
Yeah.
2 days.
I think he flew it himself on his own plane.
Well, dude, how many Teslas, right? Yeah, that's the question.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
it's kind of cool
Totally
stuff.
crazy. Totally.
It
It
I
is
mean,
wild.
yeah. But yeah, it is interesting. It'll be interesting to see if that same thing were to happen in Russia, right? If they said, hey, you citizens want to be connected and see what's really happening, here's Starlink. But then then they could use that for cyber attacks. And I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it sounds bad. So some other attacks have gone on actually recently besides NVIDIA. It does seem like there's been a couple interesting ones, but the one that I thought was real interesting was the insurance giant Aon. I think that's how you pronounce it. Was hit by a cyber attack over this weekend. So what's funny about this is they're an insurance company that insures insurance company, and
Do
I
they
just
cover
wonder,
acts of war?
I just wonder if they have cyber insurance. That's my real question, right? But yeah, they're a decent size insurance company, and they were attacked. Obviously, with any of these, there's no details. My real question is, do you guys think it's related? Possibly. Timing just seems. There's been a couple other articles that have come out about just kind of the overall. The federal government has stated, "Hey guys, listen, cyber attacks are on the way. That's ramping up. So, be prepared."
Yeah,
So
we don't know anything about
what
it.
is it? Because it just says, disclosed they suffered a quote unquote cyber attack on February 25th. So
yeah, that's covering their.
That's covering their insurance bases, right? It was a cyber attack. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we don't know what actually happened.
It was literally one ping.
We can speculate. They did say it has not had a significant impact on operations, so we can probably rule out ransomware.
So I'll tell you right now, it must have been significant because they were required to disclose it. If it was something that they didn't have to disclose, we would not be reading about this article. There's kind of a lot of money involved, right? So
who makes that decision about significance? Their legal team?
Legal team and the
probably.
Yeah.
Is there really an SEC form for we got hacked?
The board of directors.
It's like, hey, please fax this form to IRS.
Honor submission.
Honor.
Yeah, the CNA one was Chicago local. That was last year. It was like a $40 million ransom. But their main page was down for like over 3 weeks or something.
I don't think it was ransomware just because they said operations are not impacted.
Yeah.
So
telling you it was the ping of death.
The one Christmas tree packet sent to their main router just took everything down because that's the world we live in apparently now.
I mean, that's something else that we didn't really talk about. Is like with all this Ukraine stuff going on and all the noise, like how many other things are happening that, it's an ample opportunity for other threat actors to take advantage of that kind of chaos.
Well, we did see North Korea fire a missile into the Japanese Sea or ocean somewhere over there, and that just goes to show, there other countries and APT groups and whatnot are going to do things while it's going off. Like you said, total distraction. Don't worry about us, or either, hey, give us some attention, whether or not you're like an activist hack or whatever. But
it could be an instance. I genuinely, this is total speculation, so take it with a grain, but I could definitely see Russia seeing their days are numbered, and not just like the FSB or whatever, but like all Russian threat actor groups are like, we could potentially lose access to all these environments. We should like trigger stuff and like get paid or get like complete the campaigns. Cash in, or like before they do get cut off from the internet potentially, or it's like in times of uncertainty, it might be a good time to like take your campaign that you've been running for however long and like try to cash it out, right? You have this like investment you've made in this infrastructure. You want to cash it out before you
1K of ransomware here, Jesus,
dude. Honestly, yeah, right. It's like,
yeah, no,
but
I hear you.
not to mention if you're about to get cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
that's better
yeah,
than rubles. That's better than rubles, dude. If you,
Yeah.
you know, like it could be I mean,
I
there
heard
could also be
crypto's
like
going up too because
there
of
could
that.
be internal, right? Like you're at FSB, you disagree with what's happening, you're getting paid in rubles, your money's going to, down to the zero, and you're like, we might as well like use this access that we got from government sponsored hacking to like perform a non-government like it's like pilfering, right? It's total corruption. Like let's cash out on these government
Grabbing
access
stuff
points,
on the way out.
right? I mean, I don't know, but that seems plausible to me that like if they have all this access, they know they're about to get cut off, use it or lose it, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see. I wonder if we're going to see like a serious uptick of just overall like attacks, or
For
it's
sure,
just kind of
and
the
it's going
regular
to be a little
base.
bit of delay to hear about them, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's happening now, we'll probably hear about in a few weeks to a month. So,
Yeah. So
a month. Wow, dude, that is an aggressive timeline for attribution.
well, and
How long
think
did it
about
no,
take
I'm just saying disclosure, not attribution.
Well, think about stuff
yeah.
that happens to the government. We're not going to hear about it all.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like Russia will never admit our FSB hackers turned and used all this access we had to extract 3 Bitcoins from Aeon or whatever. That's not that's never going to come to light. But
I still do wonder if they had insurance. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Self-insured, baby.
Someone asked an interesting question, or speculative. What would a post-Putin FSB GRU, which for those that don't know, that's like the CIA or the NSA in Russia, what would it look like? Probably less state-sponsored cyber attacks, since that's how you make enemies. I would guess it'd be more like globally diplomatic. Potentially, them banding together with the other stands or whatever you want to call them, the other post-USSR bloc nations to have some kind of intelligence network or something instead of just going after any of their enemies.
So
I don't know. That's my guess.
Yeah. I mean, kind of some assumptions there. Would they be a new democratic government, or would it be another basically, sole proprietorship?
Sole proprietorship.
Oligarchy.
That's like a nice way to say it.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it
kind of depends on how that goes, right? Because if they want to be a democracy, they're going to have to show out to the world that hey, we're a little more open and transparent. We don't have the secret police running around just taking people out, whenever they want.
The cyber attacks have to stop, I would say. For them to be diplomatically viable, the cyber attacks are going to have to like be dialed back because they're so notorious for it. And it's been such a consistent issue that I feel like they have to at least lay low for a while or try to be more diplomatic. It'd be really funny if they were like, as a sign of good faith, we will release all of the like threat logs, all of the activity logs of the the Putin FSB are now like in international hands. That would be like really fast. That's what I would love to dig through, but who knows? I mean, like Steve said, there's a lot of, it depends on, the opposition to Putin within Russia. What does that look like? Are they going to go democratic? Are they going to go remix, same thing, different toilet? I don't know.
Or are we just gonna keep on rocking, right? And just rolls on its own thing, right? I mean, you can't live
imagine Putin going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he restructured the whole government so that he could like be president again, so
this has been a long time. Yeah. Long entrenched. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But again, we're absolutely hypothesizing armchair style, hey, I heard this, right?
We're probably, but dude, we're probably, doing the same thing that they're doing in UN right now. The only difference is that luckily we can't make anything real happen. Thank God.
Yeah. But the cyber,
I'll trade you all my lions for your nukes.
The cyber attacks won't stop anytime soon. I can tell you that much. So I think the biggest thing to take away from this is to be vigilant, and that everyone's kind of target right now. So
everyone's a target. If there is access in your network, it's gonna get used.
Yeah,
very soon.
It's funny too because you're like, well, aren't you always a target? But I think just right now it's just even more. But we'll see, right? Like you guys were saying, we're not going to hear about it. But you might feel it.
Unprecedented times call for unprecedented phishing campaigns.
The best fish is the one you don't have to send. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and I think Reverse Shell, kind of hit it on there. This is another opportunity to have a whole new approach to the same banking phishing campaigns that we've seen in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't steal rubles. They're not worth much.
Yeah. Well, they're not digital either. So I don't know how you're stealing them. I don't. Just what?
F12, dude.
F12, yeah. Yeah. Anything else that started with?
We're only at 72
Ukraine?
mentions of Ukraine. So
is
73.
Someone counting? Is that you?
Yeah, I totally didn't make that number up.
Oh, well, I thought, hey, we're getting close. I got to use a couple more Ukraines.
Yeah,
man.
now that things have gone kinetic, it's hard to keep track of the cyber attacks. There's literal missiles flying around. So
there's TikTok channels of how to start abandoned Russian armored vehicles.
Oh, I did. Nice. I saw somebody in red sneakers driving one of their armored APCs around. Yeah, just driving around. I think they're calling them the tracksuit army now.
But hey, that could be a legitimate Russian soldier. I just like to say.
Yeah, I never know. Disinformation. Who knows?
Be careful. Exactly.
So one thing that we kind of glossed over, and someone tweeted this, we had an article in here. Someone posted a spreadsheet that has orgs and people that are providing free cyber services to Ukrainians. Kind of an interesting thing. It's like, I can't lend you MREs, but I can help you with incident response if you get hacked.
I don't know.
So there is it's a spreadsheet. It's here. Free cyber and humanitarian services for Ukraine. I don't know. Hopefully BHIS isn't on here. I don't know. Maybe I guess Intel X is on there. Full access to OSINT platform. Ooh, wish kind of useful. Kind of useful.
I see that come through my email too.
Yeah. So I guess if somehow you're watching this and you're in Ukraine, first of all, good job.
Good job.
How did you even get here?
Starlink.
Second of all, run.
Yeah, and obviously what's going on over there is really horrible, and I wish the best for them in general in that statement, right? So I think that's really what that list was about, trying to help people out who are going through a really tough time, and something they didn't even start, right? They're just doing their own thing, and next thing you know, somebody wants to take it from you.
So there are it's not just cyber services. There's also humanitarian, there's refugee housing information, and pretty much every country is taking in refugees, and they're everyone's kind of banding together, I guess, to try to keep people safe where possible. So it is horrifying. In the modern era, watching a war play out on TikTok is it's a lot. It's a lot to handle. It's am I just looking at this happening in real time? I guess it's so weird.
Yeah, I think somebody was saying they were calling this the TikTok war, because of just how people are consuming it. Be relevant to how it started or what's happening. It's just people are I'm not watching it on the news. I'm watching these TikTok videos of some guy stealing a tank with a tractor and bailing out.
Well, yeah, and I guess it'll be interesting to see what are the rules? What are the content rules? If I'm posting burned up tanks, that's probably okay. What about gore and actual what happens during war? Is that because there's potential a lot of eyeballs, but it's also content horrifying stuff.
That brings up a really good topic just about how the platforms, right, insert name, are going to handle the content from war, right? What should be there, what shouldn't be there, should they be saying, you know what I'm saying?
But at the end of the day, live stream from a war zone? Because I want them to say,
you live stream,
right? You can, for journalistic purposes, you should be able to. But then someone will be I'm a Russian live streaming me just murdering people or whatever. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's that. That'll be.
I will say
horrifying to watch play out in real time for certain people. Just be careful what you click.
Yeah, there's a couple things.
That's true. I mean, and that's what I was talking about. Let me look and see what the name of the Discord channel is. Intelligence Fusion is where I've been getting most of my news. And so I think that's true, that it's the social media where we're getting our information. And I did click the wrong thing, as like I was, in tears because I couldn't believe it was just the tank that drove over the car. And it was a video game coming to life, right? I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, there have been a lot of, well, at least according to what has been posted from what we've seen, we don't have, we're not journalists, but there have been a lot of attacks on civilians by Russian tanks and other things. So it's like, it's definitely hard to watch that. I think with that, in that case, those people, I think, survived from what I heard, but I don't know if that's true, but
I think this just brings up just kind of one of the facts about technology in a modern war, which, I mean, obviously we don't want a modern war, but that's what we have, right? And that is a cell phone in everyone's hand and being able to record anything and everything quickly and distribute that information quickly. Just the technology we have now is that part of that piece. Which is why we're seeing it the way we're seeing it, whether that be the accurate information or people just pumping up for some, thing is irrelevant. The content is going to be created and made, and because it's just so easy to have, right? Whereas, older wars, you had to have this huge camera on your back, that's not,
the good side is if you commit war crimes.
Vietnam War, though, right? I mean, because it's brought it into our homes again, just like it did in Vietnam. Vietnam was the first time that war was televised, and people sat at their dinner tables and watched the war on television. And now we're sitting on our phone, right? That was an Instagram post that I saw that, like you said, it's somebody's hand. So it's gone from that point of being in the Vietnam War with the big cameras, like you're saying, to now being that camera in everyone's hand and being able to see it in a way that I don't think they broadcast war like that since the Vietnam War, where it was on every night and everybody was watching. And so this is kind of the same sort of situation where it is in everybody's hands and everybody can see it in real time.
Yeah, I mean, on the good side, like it's similar to like the whole January 6th thing where like there's so much information. If you were there and you were doing bad things, you will probably get caught, right? Like that you're not going to get away with war crimes like maybe people did in Vietnam because there are 1,000 cameras recording you from every angle and every your face, and like your phone is connected to, like, it's just so that is the transparency will provide like kind of some level of protection for, like, we know that what happens will eventually, the truth will probably come to light just because of the sheer number of things being collected. But it's definitely, it's hard as just an innocent bystander. It's hard to watch other innocent bystanders get pulled into this. Like, I can't imagine waking up to a missile like in my, bedroom that just didn't detonate, and I'm like, well, I'm not dead, I guess. Here's a sweet TikTok, like
the worst, man.
I can't imagine. So stay safe. If you're in Ukraine, stay safe. It's your call whether to stay or leave, but
was there any other articles you guys wanted to talk about? I mean, I know we had a couple other ones, but I didn't have anything else.
I was briefly looking at the one where
there was a threat bot internet hacking attack. Can we bring up the threat bot, Matt, real quick? I want to see I just want to see where the attacks are going right now. Like, is it all coming from Europe?
Threatbot is just JavaScript. This has been around for like years. I don't think they've updated this for the Ukrainian conflict.
Is this NORAD? Is that what this is? Is this nukes like the movie? I would hope not. What constitutes
war games?
An attack in this? Oh, it does actually say slammer, Tor. Ooh, a WordPress.
Metasploit?
Steve, I want you to know this is a complete. This is
I'm just saying it looks funny. Like, what they're
too much fun.
I don't think they updated it for the war yet. So.
Yeah, because it would just be Russia just launching everything.
Yeah, right.
No other
virus.
country. Probably virus. Jesus. These war maps. It's funny because like this is obviously like not real, but like in reality, while we don't have a cool map that shows all these attacks, it is definitely going on, and in the sense of like it's probably all come from Russia.
No, but I guarantee you, just about every command center out there has a map somewhat similar to this, which is just total nonsense bouncing around the screen, right?
Well, go to the
Nonsense.
Kaspersky one. That's a Russian company.
That
It's
they're
probably
actually
just 404 not found.
Yeah, 404 ransomware detonated.
According to the Kaspersky one, there's all kinds of attacks coming in from space.
Space?
That's Elon.
Yeah, it's
Elon.
Elon.
Oh, yeah.
I will say Ukraine is dark on this map.
Well,
comparatively to Europe. Looks like Europe's getting hit like way harder.
Well, China's the other country that has all of those satellites up there that to have make attacks, cyber attacks, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, I would assume there's
and
really
don't forget
not a
us.
lot of...
We're probably sending a ton of cyber attacks.
No, never. Yes.
What's that one coming from Alpha Centauri over there? That real long line. Is that like alien?
It's satellites, dude. It's satellites.
It's
we covered this
satellites.
last time.
It's absolutely possible to do the satellite attack. Yeah, those are satellite attacks.
Looks like Canada's going hard. If you look at it,
It's very
Canada,
central.
Chill, dude. What is going on?
All right. Well, we should probably shut this one down before we say the U word any more times, and Corey has to pay
we're
us
only
all
up
how
to
many
84.
Bitcoins?
We're only up to 84. So
The Ukraine word,
no
and then
Bitcoins.
you have to pay the Bitcoins. Yeah.
I'm not paying the troll toll.
The troll toll. Well, thank you everybody for listening to us rant, and everyone in Ukraine, stay safe, and we will see you guys next week.
And don't click that link.
Don't click that link, and hopefully we don't have as many Ukrainian cyber attack articles, but who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
But
what next
do
week
smash
brings us.
that like button on our YouTube.
Yeah, double subscribe.
Join us in Discord. Hit the bell.
Hit the bell. All that stuff, right? I'm horrible at this. Anyways, thanks guys for showing up, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye all.